Hey folks, so just want to let you know that I might be taking some time off because I've hit my limit. I've hit my limit with nonsense on YouTube. So here's the thing: I'm not getting any credit from anybody ever, right? But I do have other astrologers watching my channel and riffing off my channel because I'm hearing my voice in a whole lot of places, and I know it's my voice because nobody else is saying this stuff, or people behaving bizarrely. Like, have you noticed? It could be just coincidence, but after the video about Christian Cinema raiding her little sister's closet for clothes, she's suddenly started dressing like an adult for a change for the first time in her entire useless career. And then there was the whole thing with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and, this mysterious marriage date that occurred before the actual wedding, after I did the wedding chart. And so far, everything about them is panned out on time. And then, of course, there was, who was a politician? Oh, the scummy one that doesn't, like, his pants fit like he's a 10-year-old, does not dress himself. Matt Gates, right? And the whole thing with the son that the grown young man he adopted as his son, mysteriously out of nowhere, whose mother would have been 14 when she got pregnant with him, which they're saying is his sister because he's trying to say that the grandparents were his parents. Anyway, Matt Gates knocked up a teenager. I'm positive he did. Prove me wrong. And the teenager that got knocked up produced the son that he adopted a while back, saying he felt this compulsion to adopt somebody. And it's just we did a whole video about that. And of course, there's this thing about her talking and some things with marriage and stuff like that, blah blah blah. And he, mysteriously suddenly had the urge to go get married and buy the new wife a brand new pair of boobs because who doesn't want a pair of boobs instead of engagement ring? It's pretty bad when you're going to bribe somebody with new hoobies to get them to marry you. Just saying. And then, of course, there's Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, our own congressional silverback gorilla, who, after we did the astrology, now mind you, this could all be coincidence, but after we did the astrology report, which clearly said that for whatever reason, this wackadoodle, the more extreme and weird and insane and like out there she gets, the more she gets financially rewarded for it. That makes no sense. And don't you know, she really went off like a freaking Jewish space laser to Mars, with her weirdness, right? And, collecting lots of money, and she's not letting up. Of course, she probably should have paid attention, maybe asked a couple of questions, because reality is stuff like that doesn't last. There is a limit to things. So she'll eventually shoot herself in the foot sooner rather than later. And then there's the thing with Trump being Virgo rising, not Leo rising. I'm telling you, that man is Virgo rising, 0 or 1 Virgo rising, with Mercury ruling the chart. So jury's still out about that. We're going to see how these pending charges go, and when the first shoe drops. Right now, we know that the asteroid Icarus, which is the asteroid of comeuppance, right, falling from grace. The whole story of Daedalus and Icarus flying too close to the sun and dying as he comes crushing back to the Earth because of his arrogant ambitions. That asteroid is opposing Trump's Saturn as we speak. So it is definitely playing out that Icarus stuff. Okay, so anyway, on top of that, now there's an astrologer who never does anything about physical appearances stuff, because we did the whole thing about the Idaho 4. I'm probably the only person on the planet who said from the very beginning, I think this is a woman who did this. I think this is a woman who, and I still stand by it. I could be wrong, but I still stand by it. I think it's a woman. I think it's a very deeply closeted lesbian, or somebody who's conflicted about whether they are lesbians or not. And in that particular environment, that would be that would be up there with being a pedophile. It's so deeply, frowned upon, which makes it, of course, even more painful if she was flirting because one of these girls was having a hot girl summer and flirting with the idea of being like a kissing sister, and then realized that this chick was serious. Like, oh no, wait, that you misunderstood me, and of course, her friends find out, but they're all making fun of her, and that would be a secret worth protecting. And the only way you can protect a secret like that is to make sure nobody ever talks about it again. And knives and poison are the weapons of choice for women because we've got to sneak up on our victims, right? We're not like men where we can overpower them. And it was a knife while they were sleeping. Men want you to know who they are. Women will wave to you from the other side of the room as you draw your last breath, from a safe distance. So I'm saying it's a woman, and I'm hearing these every now and then. I'm hearing like, oh, or maybe it's a woman. It's like, oh, interesting, because every expert out here is saying it's a man, completely disregarding the fact that adrenaline will give you 10 times the strength or even superhuman strength that you would have normally. It's not impossible for a woman to have, especially a farm girl, big, strong Idaho girls. They're not all little teeny tiny princesses like the girls that got killed. It's not unthinkable, that with all that adrenaline coursing through her veins, that she could have taken down a rhino if she needed to, assuming that it was a woman, right? So anyway, I'm hearing another astrologer who never does physical descriptions. Suddenly now they're like, oh, and literally I lost half an hour of my life trying to listen to this nonsense. So it's just pulling all these random planets and medical correlations and I can't remember, right? Like, yeah, this planet, it's what is it? It's the elbow. Yeah, elbow. The murderer has an elbow, two of them. Achilles tendon, they've got two. You know, oh my god, it's insanity. So clear, and I put in a physical description in the last video about what the murderer I think would probably look like, which is basically lean, short, masculine haircut, a couple of other things. I've got it written down in the video. Anyway, doesn't matter because we're all speculating, right? But to hear this coming out from other people's mouth, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna be as honest as I can possibly be. I am so frustrated because I'm struggling just to get my little tiny 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I realize I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but for God's sakes, I give predictions. I use astrology to show you what it can do. I give you more than pablum and hot air and, fuzzy bunny, lovely, la 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 la. But that's apparently not what people want. That's not what people want. So I'm struggling to get my first 1,000 subscribers. Everybody else is blowing hot air out there with zero predictions. Zero. If you're not doing predictions, what the hell are you doing astrology for? You're not a psychotherapist. Don't need you doing a psych profile. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm just saying. And so I'm so afraid I'm not getting credit for anything. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that I'm living in a place where my relocated Saturn is very angular. And listen, don't ever move to places where your relocated Saturn is angular because it'd be extremely difficult to get out of there. Like it's own prison. So I get that, and that's probably what it is. I'm not entertaining enough. And 100 other things. But man, I just today oh man, this just freaking burned my shorts. I was done. So, Moscow, Idaho Police Department, please find the murderer soon. Because we're all tired, and I'm tired of like putting all this stuff out there and not getting any credit for it. None. So I just need you to prove me right or wrong, right? So I can go back and say, I called it first. Then after they listen to me, or after it was published, suddenly then they're saying the same thing. I wonder where that came from. So, Idaho still think it's a woman, still thinks a deeply closeted lesbian or somebody who's not even sure if they are a lesbian. And I think the one girl was having a hot girl summer and was flirting with the whole kissing sister thing, and then realized the other chick was serious. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. And then of course she told her girlfriend, told the boy and the girl, and they all kind of mutually like started mocking this person, making fun of like. And in that particular part of the country, that is a secret that is best kept forever. And the best way to keep a secret is to make sure the people who know your secret are dead. And that knife was probably borrowed. So you're not going to find any purchases. It's literally they borrowed it from someone or someplace and put it right back where they found it. And the other reason I say this as a woman, because women are very aware of the housekeeping. So it doesn't take a lot of premeditation to figure out how to do this to make it a clean getaway. Because the first thing a woman's thinking is, this is going to be messy. All right, before I do this, how do I do this with minimal cleanup involved? I'm just saying. So there you go. More Vincent rants. I'm probably going to lose followers after posting this, but I don't care. Damn it. I'm just got to share my feelings. I'm so hurt. I need a pat on the back. So listen, you guys, those of you who are following my channel that are also following other channels, they're responsible for taking all this stuff to the other astrologers saying, oh, well, so-and-so does this. Why don't you do that? Well, another astrologer, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do that? Just stop. Just stop. Listen, if they were going to do that, they would do that. So you're putting them on the spot to do things they don't do or can't do. Who the hell knows? Whatever it is, they're not doing it. And they don't plan on doing it. You're forcing them to do that. And you're not giving me any credit for doing it. You're not making anybody happy, and you're not being clever or cute. You're just aggravating everyone. So stop it. Stop it. And for you astrologers that are watching my channel and riffing off my channel, just knock it off. Like, listen, I may be under 1,000 subscribers now, but this won't last forever. And eventually people are going to catch you on your nonsense. So I'm just saying. Plagiarism isn't limited to writing, my friend. Woo! All right, let's, dig in. We got a few more days to get through the storm here in the US and get through New Year's Eve with Mercury going retrograde. Oh, yay. Oh, yay. So we'll see how it goes. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, thanks for listening. Oh, maybe subscribe even. Hey, there's a thought.